Please speak about the origin of the Meitei people of Manipur. It is said they weren't Hindus earlier. It was King Pamaiba, uh, aka Garib Nawaz, who introduced Hinduism. Then what was the religion? And Lanchamba says, what's your take on the theory of Tangja Leela Pakhangba, who ruled ancient Manipur from 1445 BC to whatever? Is a descendant of the Tangshang dynasty. He is said by some historians that he is from Tangshab tribe. If he is a descendant of this dynasty, why did his son write the rules of Sagol Gangje in Meitei Mayek? Okay, the question is about the origin of the Meitei people of Manipur. The Meitei people are the Manipuris, right? In the Manipur region, you have different tribes, and you have the Meitei people who are not a tribe, who are a larger community. They have a history that seems to date back to at least 3,500 years. So they have a royal chronicle called the Chaitharol Kumbaba, which is a chronicle, a whole lineage of all the kings of the Manipur region of Manipur, the Meitei kings. In one version, it dates back to about 2,000 years before today. In another version, it dates back to 3,500 years before today. So 1450 approximately BCE, right? And the originator of the Manipuri people is the legendary Pakhangba, who is the snake king or the dragon king. He's depicted as a dragon in Manipuri heraldry and all that. So he is believed to have ruled Manipur to in about 1450 or so BC. Yeah. So what is the truth behind this? Is he a descendant of the Tangshang dynasty or whatever? There is absolutely no evidence for that. There are various historians who make all kinds of ridiculous claims, and it gets published, and then it becomes like fact, part of the existing literature. But what is the evidence that Pakhangba was a part of so and so dynasty or X dynasty or Y dynasty? What is the evidence for that? There is zero evidence for that. Zero. There is no archaeological evidence for that. There is no literary evidence for that. Yeah. There is nothing in the literature of the Manipuri people that says that Pakhangba or his ancestors came from somewhere else. Nothing. So there is zero evidence for this thing. What is Sagol Kangje? It is polo. Sagol Kangje is the game of polo which originated in Manipur, who knows how many thousands of years ago. So maybe 2,000 years ago, or maybe 3,500 years ago. So the origin of polo is in Manipur. It's not in Armenia or Azerbaijan or Turkey or Persia or whatever. It's in Manipur. It's the oldest game in this region. I mean, one of the oldest games, sports. The British came to India. They occupied Manipur, killed the king, hanged him, the general, and then they found the sport and they adopted the sport and they started playing it. And it was the sport of the royalty and all that, polo. So, and the other question is about the origin of the Meitei people. So we don't quite know what is the origin. They have been in the region, in the Manipur Valley region, the Imphal Valley region, and the overall larger region around that, around 3,500 years at least. One of the ways of knowing or deducing the origin is to do genetic testing. And I don't think anybody has done any significant amount of serious testing of the genetic lineages of the Manipuri people. So we don't know. If that happens in the future, we will have a better idea of what the migration routes were like. We all know that the history of the human species is a history of migrations. 70,000 years ago, the first humans came into this Indian subcontinent, and from there they spread out to various places. So eventually it all dates back to that. So the history of the Meitei people in this region, in the far east of India, goes back at least 3,500 years ago. So that is very ancient. It's older than Rome. It's older than Greece. Yeah. So I think that's old enough for us, right? What happened before that, we can try to deduce through genetic analysis. What is the religion? Well, the Manipuris had their own religion, their own culture, polytheistic culture. It is now everything is an ism nowadays. So it's called Sanamahism, like Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, Tengrism, so Sanamahism, that sort of thing. So the original culture or religion of the Manipuri people is the worship of Sanamahi and the entire pantheon of divinities that around that. There is also ancestor worship, there is nature worship, and so much more. So it's just like any other polytheistic culture like Tengrism, Shinto, etc. In Japan, see, there are incredible parallels between Sanamahism and Shinto. So Shinto is the original culture or religion, polytheistic belief system in Japan. Later on, Buddhism came into Japan. So now the Shinto belief system was more closer to Hinduism than Buddhism. So the Japanese saw Buddhism as kind of a lightweight version of what they already had. But eventually, Buddhism became a big thing in Japan, and today what you have is a beautiful syncretic mixture of Shinto and Buddhism that is the mainstream culture in Japan today. Right. Similarly, what we call Hinduism it became a thing during the time of Pamaiba, about 300 400 years before today. I don't remember the exact date. About 300 or so years before today. So this guy Pamaiba took on this very strange name of Garib Nawaz, Persianate name. Yeah. And he adopted Gaudiya Vaishnavism as the official state religion around this time. Yeah. So even today in Manipur, Sanamahism isn't dead. People who practice Hinduism, Vaishnavism, they also practice Sanamahism. So it's syncretized, just like Shinto and Buddhism syncretized with elements of Hinduism very much. Yeah, in Japan, the same way you have a mixture, a syncretic admixture of Sanamahism and Gaudiya Vaishnavism in Manipur today.